Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, people on YouTube. And welcome back to William in Japan, as I squeeze right through here. Okay, as you can see, I am squidding a little bit today. My apologies to the AdGad Brigade. I do not tend to do this on purpose, but I don't really have a choice today. It is now 34 degrees and rising, and I only have a Dainese mesh jacket. Unfortunately, the European manufacturers do not make the jackets that suits the Japanese summer. So that is the very reason why we are riding today. I'm heading to a Japanese motorcycle gear manufacturer called Kushitani. They also make racing suits, so you might have heard of them before. I'm not really sure. It is more of a domestic brand. And we'll see if we can grab a nice mesh jacket when we get there. And as you can see, I am not on my Ducati Supersport today. I am on my trusty little CB250R. So, you might be asking yourself, what the heck is a CB250R? I only heard of a CB300R. Isn't that the neo-retro bike from Honda? The starter bike that they make? And you will be correct. Outside Japan, if I am correct, no country actually sells this bike, the 250. They all sell the 300 CB300R, which is actually 286 cc's, if I'm correct. So anyways, why does Japan sell 250 then? It really comes down to the governance policy and licensing policy in Japan. Well, let's go to the license part first. Whatever license you get in Japan, if you took the test in Japan, basically, you need to do a paper test, and 2, the one test in basically driving or riding a motorcycle. So, the most smallest cc capacity you can ride is around 50 cc's, of course. And that actually does not require a different test for riding a motorcycle. So if you have a driver's license, you did the paper-based test, you are eligible to ride motorcycles under 50 cc's. And after that is the first, real motorcycle license. It's for under 400 cc's, so 50 cc's to 399. For these, you can ride those kind of capacity bikes. And this falls right under that. And finally, for the big bikes, the proper bikes that we really usually say outside of Asia, I guess, you need a full license, and you need to take a different test on that with heavier bikes on a different course, basically. So there are 3 different motorcycle licenses. And you might be asking again, since the license is only limited to 400 cc's, then why don't everybody get the 400 cc bikes? Why not get the Ninja 400? Why not get the R3? They have way more power than 250 cc's bikes, right? And you are correct. This actually comes down to the governing policy by the Japanese government on inspection of motorcycles. As I mentioned in my last video, new bikes are asked to be inspected after 3 years after they leave the dealer. And after that, you have to do it every 2 years. So in every 2 years, basically, if your bike is not new, there is an inspection due to be done every 2 years, and they check everything. So all kinds of modifications you have done must be in line with the law. And if you have, let's say, a full system exhaust, there are exceptions, but usually none of them will pass. Very, very low chance that they will pass the inspection. So people will have to return to their stock exhaust cans when that inspection is due. So then there is the good point for 250s. Then why is that? Is because under 250 cc's, there are actually no inspections. No inspections are necessary. You can do whatever you want to your bike. Full exhaust system, check. Catalytic remove, no problem at all. ECU flash, of course, nobody checks it for you. So basically, if you're under 250 cc's if you're not stopped by a cop and they don't have equipment to check your sound, your exhaust, you are good to go. You can do whatever you want to your bike. So that is the very reason why 250cc's is such an important class in Japan. It falls under the normal motorcycle license. You don't need inspections for every 2 years. You can do any modifications thanks to that. And finally, looking at roads as you can see right now, it's pretty crowded. And light bikes, especially when you're commuting, is a huge plus. Yeah, and that's why I kept this bike as well. I have owned this bike for the past year and so. As you can see on the odometer, it's almost to 17,000 kilometers already. And this bike can basically do anything. Of course, highway speeds in Japan, that's around 100 kilometers. Yes, it is a bit of a hassle, but it gets there. It can cruise on 100. Yes, it's a bit shaky, but you could get used to it, really. Commuting, of course, no problem. Running errands, getting groceries, no problems at all. So, it's a very it fits jack of all trades, I guess. It does the job. I actually even rode this bike all the way to Hokkaido. And that is one heck of a long ride. Yep, and it can do it. And that's really the biggest reason why people love the 250s in Japan, especially in big cities like Tokyo. Anyways, we're still around 30 minutes out to Kushitani, and I will see you when we get there. See you later. And welcome back. We're still not quite there yet, but I would like to add a few more points on the 250cc subject. So as I mentioned earlier, this bike outside of Japan is called a CB300R, and in Japan it's sold in a 249cc capacity. There are also other really similar motorcycles that you might not expect that is a 250 in Japan. So first of all is one of the most popular starter bike you can have, the R3. In Japan, they also sell the R3, but they sell extra R25 as well. This goes to the naked MT bikes as well. The MT-03 in Japan actually also comes in the MT-25 version. And for Ninja 400, you all have heard of the Ninja 250, the very, very old Ninja 250 before, but that bike actually still has a modern version, which shares the same frame with the Ninja 400, but it comes with a 250 parallel twin engine. So, oh, that's a Dainese. Never noticed that there's a shop there. Anyways. Yep, derp. Nice and slow, nice and slow. Japanese manufacturers, which focuses more on the Asian market and Japanese domestic market, really emphasis on the 250cc lineup. And unfortunately, these are actually really good bikes for commuting and for dailying. I understand the commute is very different outside of Japan. Well, let's say if you live in the US, your commute might be 1 hour or 2 hours long. But in Japan, usually everybody takes the train, or if you live closer and you can use a motorbike to commute, then it's most likely a 30-minute ride at most. So these bikes are very cheap to maintain. They are very reliable. The gas mileage is incredible. Let me show you just in a bit. This bike usually averages out around 35 kilometers per liter when I am touring. And in all commutes and stuff, like roads like this, it really averages out around 32. And if I only do really long hauls without stopping at any traffic lights, it can go over 40 kilometers per liter. So for commuting, this is the perfect bike. And it is all do-it-all motorcycle anyways, so you don't need another bike to do long touring. If you wish, this can be your daily bike and your fun bike in the weekends, and you can take it to track day as well. Of course, it's freaking slow in modern standards, but it fits the bill. So yeah, I just want to let you guys know why the 250 exists and why Suzuki actually still makes the Gixxis 250R. It's a really shitty bike in your opinion, I bet, but it's really important in places like Japan. It's the perfect bike to have, and there is not a lot of 250cc bikes with full fairings. The R25 is the only one that comes to mind right now. Oh yeah, and the Ninja 250. So yeah, there's actually a lot of similar bikes still lying around like the Gixxis 250R. Yes, it's heavy, yes, it's a bit old, but power output wise, like this bike, it's actually pretty close. People are not that unsatisfied with these kind of bikes here. And hopefully you can give Suzuki a little bit less flack when you talk about Gixxis 250R, but because it's really not meant to be sold in America and Europe. It's the bike for crowded cities like Japan to use. And oh yeah, and for the mileage, as you can see, I'm averaging 31.2 kilometers per liter right now. And this includes a lot of commuting and traffic jams like this. We are having very little traffic, in my opinion, on a typical workday in Tokyo, but it can be better. We still have a bit of traffic today. So I'm going to cut it off right here again, and we'll see you when we get to the shop. Welcome back. We are almost there. Stuck in traffic in the past, I guess, 15 minutes. Not doing very well today, extremely in the heat. It does not feel good. But anyways, we're really close to your shop. And I really want to introduce this brand to you guys. It does not have a really strong international presence, but they make really, really high quality motorcycle gear. If you have the chance, hopefully you can give it a shot. And since we are riding in the city, maybe you can do a quick introduction to Japanese traffic laws. So during the video, you might have seen me squeezing through cars, doing lane splitting, and heading to the front during a traffic light. This is technically not legal and not illegal. It's a really weird spot inside the Japanese traffic laws. So if, like you can see on my right here, if that line there is white, you can lane split without consequences. Basically, police will not give you a hard time, and they really they really don't have a basis to give you a ticket. Basically, so lane splitting is not technically illegal or legal in Japan. So that's the really hard part. Then why can't you lane split if there's a yellow solid line in these intersections? Well, the yellow line, I think a lot of countries are similar, means you cannot cross, you cannot step at or go through yellow lines. And that is the reason why you can't lane split. Lane splitting, of course, you go through the line, you go over the line. And if you're on a yellow line, you can get a ticket, not for lane splitting, but for crossing where you're not supposed to cross. So that is the basis, or the golden standard, I guess, to how to lane split in Japan. Go through when there's white solid or white dashes line, and it doesn't really matter if the traffic is stopped or slow or how many kilos you can do when you're lane splitting, because there is no law governing this. So if you see fit, you can, if you wish, lane split. And oh, there's a copper right there. He's on the CB 1300. And if you wish to do so, there's really not much of a consequence. And good for me. I took the wrong turn. Alright, U-turn it is. I should have turned right there instead of a turn left. Sorry, dudes. Give me around a few more minutes and we'll be at the shop real soon. Right, we're finally on the right track. Thought it was 5 minutes, turned out to be 15. For God's sakes. Traffic is bad today. Here we go, here we go. We are here. I'm not sure if they let me film this, but I think they won't. But at least you can see how the shop looks like. And we'll park right behind at their parking lot. Yup. Alright, be right back and see if I'm lucky. I'll get my mesh jacket I've been looking for. See you soon. Hey guys, and we're back. Well, learn things the hard way. Never trust Google too much. Unfortunately, Kushitani Setagaya was closed for Wednesdays. They are always closed on Wednesdays. So, unfortunately, again, like the last video, we have something left for next time. And thank you for joining me today. This has been William, and see you next time. Bye bye.